Hello everybody, welcome back to our series on the 10 Commandments of Digital Missions. Today we're actually going to be talking about the 7th commandment, which is thou shalt upload consistently. If you ever have found a show that you really love, you know what it's like to get into the routine of waiting day after day for that next episode to come out. I remember when I was in my junior high, the show that my family, we would always watch together was the show Seventh Heaven. And the reason why I really looked forward to that show was actually because my mother always made sure that we as young children would go to bed at a very early time. I remember sometimes like our bedtime was as early as like 6 or 6:30 or something like that. Sometimes I actually literally went to bed before the sun even went down. But Seventh Heaven was a special treat because once a week we could actually stay up quote unquote late because we would watch Seventh Heaven together as a family. And so I remember as a young child, looking forward to that day of the week. I think it was a Monday, and just getting ready for that show. It was a really great experience. And maybe you've had an experience like that with a podcast or a TV show, or maybe it's like for you, it's like, Sunday football or whatever the case is. This is exactly what I want us to get into the habit of doing. This is what the goal really is when it comes to our YouTube channel. Assuming that you start to build an audience, you want to start creating this mentality, this mindset for your audience where they know not only when your video is coming out, but they actually start to look forward to it, and they start building that into part of their regular routine. So something practical would be like, maybe on Tuesdays at my lunch break I always watch this channel, or maybe like on Friday afternoons when I get home from work I'm gonna watch this video. And so what happens is if you have this kind of consistency with the same day and the same time, over time you're going to have your viewers showing up more regularly. You're actually going to be able to help your viewers predict when the next video is, and you're going to be able to have more steady numbers when it comes to the amount of views and watch time that you get for every single video. So when it comes to upload consistently, how many times should we be posting when it comes to our channel? Now, every channel is going to be a little bit different. There are channels that get away with doing like one video, let's say a month. Those are very few and far between. YouTube's algorithm doesn't really like that. Again, they're wanting to reward people for bringing people back to YouTube and spending a lot of time on the platform. So once a month really doesn't serve that purpose. There are some channels that really take that to heart, and so they start to upload videos literally every single day. And you can do that if you can sustain that. The worst thing that you could do is upload daily for a while and then basically stop uploading for a couple months. So you don't want to do that. You want to really think about, what is my capacity? What can I do as far as a workflow, as far as energy expenditure, all of these different kinds of things. And so what I would really highly suggest, and this is kind of the common practice, and this is kind of what's normal for most YouTube channels on the platform, is that they stick to a once a week uploading schedule. As you start to do this more and more, you realize that it takes a lot more work than you might think to just get one video out every single week. It can actually be quite a challenge. And so I would suggest starting off with one video a week. Beyond that, if you haven't yet started your channel, you actually have quite the advantage. I would actually suggest that you try and create a stockpile, a database of videos that you have not yet published. What's really nice about YouTube is you can upload your video to the platform, but keep it on private or an unlisted video. And so what basically that means is that it's up online on YouTube, but the public cannot see it. It hasn't actually been released yet. And it's only when you hit that certain button, publish, that it goes live to the public. And so my suggestion is try and create like a stockpile of maybe 4, 5, 6 videos before you officially launch your channel. That way, on a given week, if you're super busy, if you have a family emergency, if you're going on vacation or whatever the case is, you can have this buffer built in with videos that can be uploaded even while you're gone. And what's nice is you can actually even schedule these uploads. So you say, you know what, I want this video to go live on the 1st at 3 in the afternoon, and then I want the second video to go live on the 8th at 3 in the afternoon, and you can do that several weeks and months in advance. So that way you're not having to sit by the computer every single week and hit that button one by one. So you want to have this consistency. You want to have this predictable schedule, as we talked about in our last video with the channel header and channel trailer, One thing that I really would like to suggest that you don't do is you don't upload all of your videos on the same day. This happens a lot, especially if someone is doing like a series of videos. Let's say in theory you want to do a series on like the Beatitudes, and you end up with 5, 6, 7 videos. One common mistake is for people to just upload all of those videos all at the same time on the same day. That's a huge mistake. Other people, they might take all of their sermons from their church and upload all those videos at the same time. This is a really bad practice to have, because when you think about how people view YouTube as a native platform, people get into this habit, and most young people especially come to YouTube every single day, and they look at their what's called their feed, and they see what are the uploads, what are their subscription boxes look like, and if they're used to only seeing one video from your channel on a given week, but then on one particular week you start to have like 20 videos, usually the most immediate response from them isn't to go and watch all 20 videos, because who has time to do that on one single day? Usually the response actually is to hit unsubscribe, because you've now clogged their feed, you've interrupted their viewing experience with all the other channels that they have as part of their routine to watch. So really avoid uploading all of your videos all at once. Spread them out, figure out what your upload schedule is, once a week, twice a week, whatever that is, and really just do your best to stick to that and create that habit for your viewers. Now, what happens if you can't upload on a given week? Well, you want to try and avoid that. That's why uploading all your videos in advance and having kind of a stockpile is really valuable. But if you can't upload on a given week, it's not the end of the world. You can definitely give yourself grace, especially as you're starting off. People might not actually notice, but you want to try and avoid this as best as possible. A lot of the reasons why people miss an upload is because they're perfectionists. And this is really where people who are really gifted and trained in the area of, like, say, cinematography or something along those lines, they have their skills and their strengths for sure, but this is actually a weakness for them. A lot of times where they say, you know what, I've been working hard on this project and it's not quite yet done, it's not quite yet perfect, and as a result, they don't upload anything. There's a little mantra that I really I live by, and I believe strongly, and I believe it actually applies to YouTube in a very real way. And this is the mantra. It is, done is better than perfect. A lot of times the creators will go and they'll work on their video really, really hard, and as a result, there's always something that they can improve, and they kind of have this what's the phrase called? Paralysis by analysis. They're always reworking the video, changing this, tweaking that, and as a result, they don't upload anything. When it comes to YouTube, we talked about in the past, quality is important, but quality has also, in a certain sense, never been less important. What does matter is consistency. What matters is getting into that routine. And what matters is making sure that you have a library of content to actually go through. And so I want to really challenge us to not become perfectionists when it comes to creating our content. At some point, you have to say, that's, what I have in front of me is good enough. Probably the most important trait that you need in order to be successful on YouTube is that consistency. Can you actually hit that publish button once a week or not? And if the answer is no, then it's going to be a very struggle. It's going to be an uphill battle to growing an audience and growing a community of people behind you. So one last tip that I want to give you is this thing called batch shooting. So one thing that I tried to do in the past is I actually tried to shoot my videos one at a time. And that was okay for a while, but I realized that I was wasting a lot of time. It does actually take a decent amount of time to set up the camera, to get my microphones ready, to build up all these lights, to set up my set design, all of those different kinds of things. That takes a lot of time. And if I'm doing that every time I'm going to shoot a video, build everything up, shoot my video, tear it down, and then next week build it back up, shoot my video, tear it back down. There's a lot of time that's wasted. And so one strategy that I've implemented in the recent past is to do what I call batch shooting, where I set aside one day in a month, or maybe every couple of weeks or something like that, where I say, today I am going to shoot 4, 5, 6, maybe even more videos in one single day. So that way I can kind of streamline my entire process. Just a couple of weekends ago, I sat down and I shot 8 videos in one day. Now, of course, that was a very long day. It was an exhausting day. But what happened was I basically had 1 to 2 months of content basically created all in one day. And that way, I'm not going to miss any uploads. I'm not going to miss that consistency. I can just go through, shoot all those videos and start uploading them all at the times that I have them designated. And that way, for the next month or two, I'm actually not having to think about that part of YouTube. I can engage in the comments. I can do other things that really are important for growing an audience. But as far as creating new content, I can kind of take my mind off of that and kind of get a refresh, which is really, really important when you're doing anything creative like a YouTube video. So consider batch shooting your videos, getting a storehouse of videos ready before you go live, but do whatever you can to upload consistently, minimum at least once a week, so that way your viewers can get into the habit of watching your videos as part of their weekly habits. Hopefully that's helped. Again, if you have any questions, just send me an email and we'll talk soon. God bless.